Welcome to Real Talk, Family Law with Richard Lebovitz.
Welcome to Real Talk Family Law with Richard Lebovitz. Richard is a seasoned Maryland family law attorney with decades of experience helping clients through divorce, custody, and other complex family matters. He's known for his clear, honest guidance and commitment to helping clients move forward with confidence. I'm Evan Mack, and in today's episode, we're talking about what to expect at a very first consultation with a family law attorney. Whether you're facing divorce, a custody issue, or just need to know your rights, this first meeting can feel overwhelming. Richard's here to explain how it works and how to prepare so you can get the most out of it. This is what to expect at your first consultation. Welcome, Richard.
All right. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you tell the people a little bit about yourself, maybe your background as a third generation attorney and what led you to focus on family law?
Sure. I grew up in Western Pennsylvania, and I followed in the footsteps of my grandfather, my father, my brother, and I used to work at a firm called Lebovitz and Lebovitz in Pittsburgh, and I spent 12 years learning, all aspects of family law and running a general practice with my first grandfather. Then he retired, and my dad, and my brother, and myself. And got to learn all different aspects of law.
Let's shift to today's topic. For someone who's never spoken to a lawyer before, what exactly is a consultation? What can they expect? What's the goal of that first meeting?
Sure. The goal of the first meeting is really to get a general understanding if I would be as essentially going through a difficult time in your life of dealing with any kind of family law matter, whether it's a child support issue, a custody issue, or a divorce, is whether or not I, as your attorney, would be a good fit to work with you going forward. It's not a really heavy, hey, let me tell you everything in your whole life story and go through the whole case right at the very beginning. It's more of an introduction, if you will. Essentially, what's the general issues, spot the issues, figure out essentially what's a plan of attack we could do moving forward. And it's, like I said, it's more of an introduction. We would talk about essentially what's going on, what the fees might be, or a payment plan, and then we can have a follow-up meeting. I'd send a fee agreement, work out payment plan options, and then have a more in-depth conversation, down the road as we start working on a case.
So, Rich, do people need to bring anything with them, like documents, financial records, or court papers?
I mean, if they have that information, I would say, if you have it, bring it with you, but it's not necessary. It's amazing. A lot of people are just so overwhelmed that they're either afraid. I've had that runs the gamut of the person who brings the shopping bag full of papers, with envelopes that haven't been opened, to people who just don't bring anything. And as an attorney, I can easily figure out the issues, and we can always work with them through email. Or send them a link through Dropbox or other software to get the files from them later. And also with Maryland, we have an electronic filing system. So a lot of people would call me when their case is already started. Once I've entered my appearance with the court, I can have access to download their file online.
What kind of questions should someone be ready to ask? Are they any you wish to be, is there anything that you think they should ask in the first meeting, or is it kind of just a generalization, or just any questions in particular?
I mean, honestly, it really just depends on what the issues are. So after the initial meeting with the client, I can usually tell in a few seconds, essentially, are we worrying about, is it just a simple uncontested divorce issue, as in there's no marital property, no children? Or if they have children, then of course I would find out how many children there are. Is there a current access schedule between the parents, or not? Or is one parent withholding the child from the other parent, or something like that? Is this something that would be amicable, that the other party knows that they're interested in filing something or not? So those are like more of the basic questions I need to know. Essentially, where are you in your journey or in the process? And then figure out a good path going forward. Because for some people who are just like, hey, I'm thinking about a divorce, what are my rights? I have other people who say, hey, I have a hearing next week. Can you help me? Or the trial's next week. And basically the whole year's process of everything I would normally do for a case basically has to be fast tracked. And I figure at least I could be their spokesperson and help them at the trial.
What if someone is still unsure about whether they even want to move forward with a divorce or custody changes? Can they still schedule that consult?
Yes. Again, there's no right or wrong way to handle a consultation. Again, it has to be whether or not I would be a good fit working with them, or I want someone who's more aggressive, or I want someone who's a certain way, or they don't know. And I explain to people essentially that my goal is to, as much as I want to help them as best I can, I believe in being transparent and killing essentially to kill them with kindness and work forward and be civil about everything, because I can be as much of a jerk or a shark, if you will, as the next person, but essentially I'm doing the client a disservice, because if my goal is just to piss off or annoy or cause grief for the other side, then everyone just kind of focuses on the battle or litigating, not on focusing on how we reach an agreement.
Do you have to kind of be like have thick skin or not take things personally when it comes to, someone kind of like deciding who to choose as an attorney?
Well, I mean, I guess you really have to be thick-skinned. I would say, because at the end of the day, it's nothing personal. People just have their own certain preferences that they know what they're looking for. Again, a lot of people have never been through the process. They don't know what to expect. And once I go through essentially what does a case look like and go through the full process of whether I'm preparing a complaint, and then once a complaint is filed, then we have to serve the other party. What does that look like? And then the file was called an answer, and I go through the whole process. We're scheduling going to a court for the first introduction with a court would be a scheduling conference. That essentially means picking dates going forward, and then we go through the whole process. People just may want certain questions about the case, and or again, it just depends on how contentious the case might be.
So let's talk about expectations, though, Richard. What can someone realistically expect to walk away with after that first consult with you?
So for expectations, the person can expect to have a general understanding of essentially what their rights are, whether it's a custody case, what to expect going forward, or for property, or have a general understanding or overview of like family law 101 of essentially what their rights are, what to expect during a case, and essentially as a general idea of what the court may or may not do with regards to division of property or access with the children, and just as a more basic understanding. And then, of course, we can always talk to other people or talk to witnesses or start working the case to have a more understanding of how to proceed with their case.
What about like myths or misconceptions about that first meeting you could clear up? Because I always think when it comes to consultations, the reason why people avoid them is because they'll pay a whole bunch of money to get that first consultation. Is there any other misconceptions, or is that pretty much what you're thinking as well?
Well, a misconception is for me, depending on how someone's referred to me, I normally would charge, say, a $300 consultation fee, but apply that as a credit towards any retainer. But I also do. I also had networking with public service organizations like civil justice or other like insurance plans that have some legal programs that I have to offer a free consult. So the client has to either know essentially how I would ask, how are you referred to me, and I would have an understanding of how that would go. But the misconception really is it's not just from meeting with me doesn't automatically become a attorney-client relationship that I'm now representing you. It's just I'm just gathering information about your case, and you're gathering information about me, whether or not I'm a good fit to work with you. But when people come into the meeting expecting me to answer quick kind of important questions that are life changing about their case, that's sort of a red flag, because again, I haven't actually been retained yet, or haven't really done anything yet, and they're already like walking in with a whole document. Hey, please review this. What do you think? Again, a consultation is just more of an initial meeting. So it's like I said, it's more of an interview. I guess is the best way. I'm interviewing the client, they're interviewing me. It's really not supposed to be the time to go over documents and things of that nature. I mean, unless they told me in advance, and we made the arrangements to review documents, or they're calling me with a hearing in a few days. then of course I would need them to bring in what they have so I can review it with them and explain what I could do for them and help them make life easier at that fast approaching hearing.
What kind of mindset should someone try to bring into this consult, especially if they're feeling emotional or overwhelmed that first time they see you?
I just tell them to keep an open mind.
Okay.
Essentially, I'm there to answer any and all questions because essentially I understand that this is foreign to them, that this is the first time they've ever done whatever it is they're about to be starting or embarking upon for a family law case, and something I've been doing this for 33 years.
Wow.
So it's second nature for me. So it's my job to convey to them, to reassure them that you will be okay. That life will get better. It may get worse before it gets better, but it'll get better eventually. Or 2 years from now, looking back, boy, that was difficult going through, but I'm glad I did it. Kind of a situation.
And finally, Richard, what's your message to someone listening who is nervous but knows they need to take that first step when it comes to this consultation?
I would say, stop procrastinating and contact an attorney because, we're not, we are very approachable, and we at least I truly care about the client. I do my best to try and help them, and I really want to listen to what it is they have to say and reassure them that we can try and help them. And if I can't help them, I will let them know in a few minutes, if I can't. But then I would then do my best to try and find somebody who can.
Awesome. Richard, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Well, thank you.
And thank you all for listening to Real Talk Family Law with Richard Lebovitz. If you're considering divorce or dealing with a family law issue, Richard is here to provide honest answers and reliable support, starting with your very first consultation. Visit LevovitzFamilyLaw.com to learn more. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave a review so you don't miss the next episode. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.